Hey, how you doing there again, folks? It's me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, I play V-Series videos I would do for the while. I'll go over their trout food and drink items. They stuff a drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. I'm excited for this one. Plus, I got the weekend off, so I'm happy. Ha ha ha! But we'll get to that. Folks, super simple format. I'm going to go over their trout food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside the truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means that I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. That is absolutely the case today. I went over there. I got off of work. And I'm super happy. Because they went over there and they hit us with some bullshit yesterday. We literally just days prior had a meeting where we went over there and we voiced the grievance of like, hey, when it comes to the weekends, you guys aren't always the best when it comes to giving us a lot of heads up, sometimes the day of, or, it'd be nice if we could get a little bit more so we could schedule things. And then literally we go over there just days later. They go over there and they're like, hey, we want you guys to work for 12 hours on Friday. And I was just like, no, thank you. No, thank you. So when my time came around and my 8 hours were up, I was like, I'm going home. You can all stay here, have fun. I'm going home. So that put me in a great mood. But then on top of that, I was on my way home, decided to go over there and stop off at a gas station because I needed some gas. What did I find while I was there, folks? And why am I excited for it? Well, folks, because it's boom! It's brand spanking new Red Bull Winter Edition, which is apparently pear cinnamon flavored. Ooh, pear cinnamon. What's going to be the best way to make this look? Ooh, yeah, man. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, that's the one. So yeah, Red Bull goes over there. If you're not familiar, they're an energy drink brand, and they have different editions that they come out with. They have different colored editions, and they also have different seasonal editions. I reviewed a few of them. I reviewed their summer one a while back, and this is their brand new winter one, which we didn't get a fall one, as far as I know. I don't think I saw a fall one. I think they just went straight from summer to winter. But I like pear a lot, and I like cinnamon a lot, so let's give it a go. I do wish we got a fall one, though. Unless I missed it. It's possible. But I do try to keep an eye out for this stuff. Smells pear-y. I like that. Let's give it a go. Ooh. Oh, I like this a lot. It's like an apple cider. It's like an apple cider energy drink. Oh my God. What have we done? Truly, we have unlocked the powers of the universe with this drink. Oh, it's wonderful. I really like this. Yeah, no, I mean, I really do. I love pear as a fruit. Personally feel it's very underrated. I feel like it's a really, really good fruit. And it gets overshadowed, especially by its cousin, the apple. And, hey, I like apples too. I ain't saying otherwise, but I do really like some pear. And it's not a flavor that's used very prominently or very often in, like, drinks and stuff. It shows up every now and again. I reviewed some honey pear soda from a company called Reading Draft. Go watch that video. So it's cool to get it in an energy drink format. And then that with the cinnamon, because, the pears and apples, they do have somewhat similar flavors for sure. They are related. But, so, that with the cinnamon, it really does. It's very evocative to me of like an apple cider, which I love apple cider. So, I'm a happy Brandon Wenzel right now, I tell you what. And it's nice the way that they blended it. Because cinnamon is great, but you use too much of it, it can overpower stuff. And, pear by itself, it's not the strongest of fruit flavors. Not the most subdued either, but, it could have been easy if they'd gone a little bit too heavy with the cinnamon. Could have completely, taken the pear out of the equation, but it's not the case. It's still nice and fruity. You still get a, solid pear flavor out of it. And it's got a little bit. Yeah, it's the way it blends is really cool because it's not like you get pear and then you get cinnamon, which is kind of in my head how I thought it was going to work. But you really do. It's like you get immediately you get a nice fruity flavor, but then almost immediately afterwards, the cinnamon kicks in. And it really does sort of swirl together, and you get sort of a mix of highs and lows as, you're, moving around your mouth and whatnot. Like you're getting, stronger hits of the pear, stronger hits of the cinnamon. So you're getting the fruity notes, you're getting the cinnamon notes. It's really cool. I like this a lot. The only thing that brings it down a little bit for me is that fundamentally you can still taste that Red Bull core. And what I mean by that is when you have companies like Monster, Red Bull, these big energy drink companies, they have all these flavors and stuff, but they have a core flavor that they're building off of. That's their formula, whatever you want to call it. And so when you're, the good thing about it is that you have a sense of, you have a sense of sort of flavor symmetry on a certain level. Like with Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew has 80 billion flavors, but fundamentally they have Mountain Dew at their core. That's the thing. Even if they all do taste different, there's certain elements that kind of bind them together. Like the Lord of the Rings and the Fellowship, I guess. I just had to toss that in there for shits and giggles, I guess. But, and I'm also a nerd, so why the fuck not, I guess. So Red Bull is definitely the case. And Red Bull, especially being an older energy drink brand, really one of the first, if not the first. Certainly the first that was big in the West anyway. It has, sort of a generic kind of citrusy sort of flavor to it. And it does its own thing, to be fair. It's not completely generic or anything, but I've never been big on Red Bull, base Red Bull. Even after they went over there years and years ago, they changed the flavor a little bit. Because I know originally it's from Thailand, and it's very different there. And then it got brought over to the West, where they went over there and kind of changed up to sort of meet the palate standards of, the new audience that it was being shown off to. And then eventually they changed it again to try to, improve it even from there. And I've just never been that big into it. But I do like their flavors. That's the thing. I like their flavor drinks. But fundamentally, you do still get that Red Bull aspect. And then it is here, for sure. Interwoven between the nice pear and the nice cinnamon flavors, you do get occasional hits of that more sort of Red Bull generic kind of energy flavor that they have. So, but it's subdued enough that it doesn't upset me. Two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Yes and yes. For me personally, this is going to be up there with my favorite Red Bull flavors. Now that said, it's not that crazy of a list. I don't drink Red Bull a lot. For one thing, it's expensive. Especially for what you get, you are paying for the branding. I think I believe, and I could be wrong, but I think even a relatively small one costs more than a full-size Monster, or at least close to. Ugh. But I will indulge in an occasional Red Bull, and I could see myself indulging in this one again. I actually really like this. It hits on flavor notes that I really like. Now, if I'm recommending it to other people, it's not going to be for everybody, to be fair. If you don't like cinnamon, you're some sort of horrible monster. I'm sorry, and, whatever, necromancer or, demonist went over there and spawned you, well, I mean, that's on them. They should have gone over there and gotten right with the cinnamon gods, I guess. Just a bit of cheeky fun. But no, if you don't like cinnamon, you're not going to be into it, even though it's not, crazy cinnamon flavor, it's still pretty prominent. And, I mean, yeah, just outside of that, it's an energy drink. If you're not into energy drinks, I don't think this one's going to change your mind. But I do think it's a really interesting flavor combination that I've personally not encountered in energy drink form. But anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, you go have yourselves a truly pear-tastic rest of your life. Pears are good, man. Again, it's like, why are we sleeping on pears? I think pears are really good. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not as possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do all the time, I know I can't do all the time. Here's what you do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me, I know it. I live it. I'm out there with you in it. Like I said at the start of this whole thing, with my work and stuff like that, you better believe that put me in a bit of a foul mood when they went over there and asked us that. It was like, come on, you guys literally just said that you were going to stop doing this shit. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholeness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. And folks, I do just want to emphasize, fundamentally, I don't work for a bad company. They're, solid people and everything like that. The fact that they were even willing to listen to us is at least something. A lot of places don't even give you that much. And, hey, I know that they're trying to work with us. When you work in, companies that deal with production, you have things that you have to meet, customers who want what they want, and deadlines that, sometimes you just got to extend a little bit. But, I just don't want to come off like I'm going over there and ragging on my company. Because, again, it's like, yeah, they annoyed me a little bit with this one. But it's like, I'm sure I annoy them plenty too. And hopefully, whatever job you might do, or maybe, you just, chill at home, hopefully you're at peace with that. Because, I mean, it's a tough world to live in, folks. Anyway, bye.